my shift will be starting soon.
I know that. I want to talk to you.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Isn't our relationship important enough to you to try to save, or don't you feel that we have a relationship?
You know, to be honest, I don't know what we have. You're like a chameleon. I think I know you, and then you change into something else.
Well, you've done some changing, too. I didn't realize you were interested in playing the field.
Playing the field, me?
I don't know what they call it in the convent, but that's what we call it in the real world. Maybe Mother Isabel was right. Maybe you should have stayed in the order. At least there you knew what loyalty and commitment were all about.
I still know what they're about. I just don't see any evidence of them around here. You've been talking to Mother Isabel about me?
But what's wrong with that?
I don't want you talking to anyone about me. I don't even want you talking to me.
Come on, Eden. I'm not gonna be able to clear you if I can't even talk to you.
Cruz is on his way over here to the house.
Yes, I'm sure of it. He found a footprint in the ground outside of the window. Now he's going to want to talk to you about that.
A footprint?
Well, a shoe print, and he thinks that it's mine. Unfortunately, it's probably right.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
Well, I
Came up with a story to tell him exactly how it got there. But he's going to want to test you on it, you know? So you've got to know what's happened.
What exactly the story is...
Kirk, I really can't, okay? No more lies. I just can't lie anymore.
Eden, now wait a minute. Look, we've got ourselves into something. We can't
I don't
start...
think you understand, all right? I just am not up to facing all of this right now.
But now is when we have to. We can't start picking and choosing our times. You know, they are picking...
Gosh.
No, Kirk. I don't mean to let you down. I just can't, okay?
Eden, we have got to agree on this. Eden? Eden.
Come on, Nick, you're stepping on my feet. Some guys don't know when to slow down.
You can say that again, and you're one of them.
What's the matter with you? I've been like a bear with a sore paw ever since I came back from up there.
You just can't figure that out, can you?
About Carlo and the map, I am the one that should be upset.
You? What have you got to be upset about?
What have I got to be
Will you
upset
just
about?
stop for a minute and think about the kind of grief that you have caused me? I mean, do you think about anyone but yourself?
You guys want to see some menus?
Yeah, I'd like to.
No, Pearl, we'll order later, thanks.
Okay, let me know when you are.
I am starving. I went through hell up there. I'm hungry.
Like the hell that you put everybody like Kelly through? That's what I want to talk about.
Nothing happened to Kelly.
Only by sheer luck. It could have.
But it didn't. Come on, Nick, let's have something to eat.
I don't
Let's
understand
party
why
a
you were so compelled to draw everybody into your schemes and to get into trouble that you can't seem to get yourself out of. And this just isn't the first time, Dylan. This has been going on for as long as I can remember. And on top of that, you...
No, what? Come on. This is no time to pull any punches. Come on, give it to me.
Forget it. You've caused enough trouble. Just leave it. All right? Just leave it.
Okay, fine. You want me to go? I'll go. I'll walk right out of here and you won't have to worry about me anymore.
It's just that easy for you, isn't it? People don't like the way you use them. You just walk away.
You wait a second. I resent that. I do not use people.
That's right. You don't use people. I stand corrected. You abuse people.
Look, if it wasn't for your story, you being my brother.
If I wasn't your brother, I wouldn't care.
Buzz the Seafood Emporium. Pearl speaking.
Yeah, Pro, this is Cruz. You gonna be around later, man? I need to talk to you.
I'm glad you
Called. I think our buddy Cranston is up to something.
What does that mean?
Well, I went out back to dump some shells, and there he was on the phone looking very, very excited, right? So all of a sudden, boom, he hangs up, runs out like he's going to some kind of fire.
I don't suppose he said where he was going.
Oh, he just cut out.
Yeah, he's probably on his way over to Eden, so I'll see if I can hit him off over there. Thanks.
Okay.
Hey, just remember, you owe me.
Yeah, right.
Right, bye.
Hello, what is it?
I need to talk to you. It's important.
Does it have to be now?
Yes, it does, because it may be the last chance we'll get.
I don't have long to talk, so if you'd be brief.
I'd really appreciate it.
Eden, please don't treat this like a business meeting. I know you're upset, but I'm here to help you. Now, I want to know if you're so upset because you and Cruz have broken up, or is there something else?
Situation with Cruz has a lot to do with it, naturally.
And I hope it's temporary.
I really can't say.
Don't you understand how deeply that man loves you?
Look, did you really come here to talk to me about what happened between Cruz and me? Because you've seen us go through these kind of crises before, or ones like it.
Yes, I have, but this is different. There's something very different and strange about this. All right, Eden. I'm going to confess something to you. When I look back, I think that probably in my life, what I wanted was a man as strong as Cruz. There are different kinds of strengths, Eden. There's the kind that intimidates, and there's the kind that helps. I had to lie to CC because I didn't think he had the right kind of strength. I didn't trust his forgiveness.
Don't you think that's your fault as much as it was Daddy's?
Yes, I do, absolutely. But what I'm trying to say to you is that it is a terrible thing to have to live with a lie. I had to lie to your father because I was sure I was going to lose him if he found out about Channing and who the father was.
I'm sure you would have lost him. He doesn't like deception any more than I do.
But what I'm saying to you, Eden, is that Cruz is not like that. Cruz is understanding and forgiving. He loves you too much to leave you.
I really don't understand what we're talking about here. I mean, you're talking about lies and trusting. What happens between Cruz and me is our business.
Eden, I know you're troubled, and I just wanted to help.
Thank you. But I don't need your help.
I think I better leave. I'm so sorry that you could never forgive me.
I did once. I think twice is asking a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I guess it's too much for you. I love you. And I will love you no matter what happens. Always have, and I always will.
I would very much appreciate it if you guys could hold it down a little bit. This here is one of Santa Barbara's more elite places for leisurely dining and intimate conversation. We don't go in for a lot of loud yelling and screaming. It spoils the ambience of the room, if you know what I mean.
Sorry, Pearl. I got carried away.
Okay. Next time you get carried out. Good appetite.
Let me get this straight. Now, what you're telling me is that this creep Carlo is going to be allowed to leave the country and just go free?
I'm sure he's already left the country. There's nothing we could do to stop.
But you could have tried. He almost killed me and Kelly. Isn't there something we can do to stop him?
Look, there was nothing we could do to prevent that. You do not understand the connections this man has, the influence. Be his word against ours.
What's wrong with our word?
Nobody would believe us, that's all.
Well, it is incredible to me that someone could have the connections to be able to terrorize people, shoot them, and then just walk away without any consequences. Oh, well, excuse me, I should have known. Anytime you're involved with anything that you have to do, it's,
Will you quit blaming me for everything that goes wrong?
Because you are mostly responsible and things don't just go wrong. Something causes them, like carelessness, poor planning, false hopes. You have been chasing pipe dreams for your entire life, Dylan. I don't think you know how to live a real life.
Look, you are mad with everything now. And I guess it has nothing to do with the fact that Kelly and I were alone in Ghost Town together. I mean, this isn't a little fit of jealousy or anything now, is it?
Jealousy? You crazy? You think I'd ever be jealous of you? Come on, don't be ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous where Kelly is concerned. Nick, I don't even like her.
Fine. Then stay away from her. You're bad news, Dylan. I mean, I hate to say it about my own brother, but it's the way I feel. Come on. Let's eat so we can get out of here.
Rosa! I am home! Mason? Where is everybody?
Gina, what are you doing back home?
Well, I did all my shopping, and I decided to come back home.
It was a quick trip. What's the matter? You didn't like Paris?
Oh, I love Paris, but the language is so difficult. I don't know how all those children can speak it.
Oh, you certainly did a lot of shopping.
I did my best. The French cannot be beat for fashion, and the rate of exchange is very favorable right now. I bought some other things. They're being shipped. Where's Rosa? I need her to take these things upstairs for me.
Oh, well, actually, Rosa's in bed. She's got the flu. She's going to be there for the next couple of days.
The flu?
Yes.
How about Brandon? Is he all right?
Oh, he's fine. He's at the Lockridges.
Oh, good. Eden, I don't suppose you'd like to take these things upstairs for me?
I don't suppose I would.
Oh, bother. I guess I'll have Reuben help me later.
Aren't you even going to ask about your husband? Why don't you care?
Oh, well, of course I do. The question was on the tip of my tongue. How is Cece?
He's the same. Thanks for inquiring.
I don't suppose there were any more attempts on his life?
You know, what makes me think that you would have changed because you went away? Travel usually broadens people. Or are you already as broad as you can get?
Well, I'm certainly as bored as I can get. Well, I guess I'll manage as much of this as I can all by myself.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh. Well, I'll slip into something French and then pick up Brandon. A tout à l'heure, as we say.
Eden, you've got to listen to me. Has Cruz been here yet?
No.
Have you talked to him? Has
No,
called him?
I really don't want to talk about any of this.
Okay, look, you don't have to talk about anything. Just forget about that. Never mind that. But you've got to listen to me. You've got to listen carefully to everything because everything depends on this right now. All right? Eden, don't forget. Your father knows that what you did out of love for him. He never would have wanted to see you punished. All right? We've got to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, I told you just now over the telephone that they have found my footprint in the ground outside of that window. But I came up with a story, a way of explaining how it got there.
Oh.
You have got to tell Cruz exactly what I told him. That on the day of the party, you discovered that there was a garden hose that was left running. And you asked me to turn it off, which I did.
So why wouldn't I have asked Reuben?
Because Reuben wasn't around
you think
I
that's
was there.
plausible?
Yes, it's plausible. Look, if we stick to it, they can't prove that otherwise.
But look what I told you. It's just more lies.
Yes, but lies that we have to stand by right now, Eden. Look, I don't want you caving in. It probably is.
Well, I can't face him right now.
Eden, you've got to.
I can't. He knows when I'm lying. He can tell. He can just look
Eden,
at me
listen
and know
to me right
that.
now. Listen to me. You and I both understand that what you did and why you did it, all right? And there's nothing wrong with it. You understand that? You just keep telling that to yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. You did what your father asked you to do. Now, you've got to have the courage of your own convictions.
If I had that, I would tell everyone the truth, including Cruz.
We better answer that door.
Spotted you at the turnoff.
Did you?
Taking it on 2 wheels, actually. You know, you're lucky I'm not with the highway patrol, man. You were driving like a maniac.
Yeah, well, I'm a busy man. I don't have time for leisurely drives, Cruz. What can I do for you?
You can start by getting out of my way. I'm tired of looking at you. I want to talk to Eden.
Sure, I wouldn't want to keep the two of you apart for anything. I come in, by all means.
What is it?
I need to ask you about something.
Well, you should have called first. I might not have been here.
I tried, but the line was busy. It seemed quicker just to come. Hope I got here in time.
Time for what?
Before Kirk had a chance to coach you on your answer.
I think that's pretty insulting.
Look now, Cruz, if you want to ask her questions, that's fine. But you are not going to badger her.
What is this, your defense attorney?
No, but I am someone that cares about her feelings. You know for a fact that she was not involved in any crime, yet you keep putting pressure on her.
Now, there's where you're wrong, Kirk. You see, there's no pressure on Eden whatsoever. The pressure is on you.
Well, then you can go to hell because you know damn well we have an eyewitness that will testify just as to where the two of us were. You don't have a hope in pinning anything on me, Cruz. Now, if you want to charge me with something, you go ahead and do it.
When and if I'm ready, I will. You can bet on it, pal.
Please.
In the meantime, I'm not going to wait for your
Please
permission.
don't, okay? If you have something to ask me, just ask me, okay, Cruz?
Eden, we found the imprint of a man's shoe in a flower bed just outside your father's window. We know who the shoe belongs to. I was just wondering if you might be able to tell me how that particular print got there.
I'm sorry, I don't have any explanation.
The police lab can prove conclusively that the print in question belongs to your pal Kirk here.
I'm sorry, there's nothing that I can tell you about it. Yeah, did you mean that it was under my father's balcony? Is that what you meant?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant.
Well, I do remember that there was a hose that was it was still on, and I couldn't find Reuben, and I'd asked Kirk if he would mind going and turning it off.
And that's what I did, right? That is exactly what I told Cruz.
I see. Well, that's clean, isn't it? Your answer matches Kirk's perfect. Thank you so much for your cooperation, Eden.
You gave me quite a scare.
Well, I just wanted to act natural, you know.
Well, you did a very fine job of
No,
that.
I didn't. He knew I was lying. He could just look at my face and know it. He knew it was just something between the two of us that we just cooked up.
Eden, don't be foolish about that. He didn't know anything of the kind. All right? Look, you may feel close to him right now, okay? But he is not a mind reader or a magician. All he has are suspicions. They're not worth anything. Try to take it easy.
I can't go on like this anymore. I love him, and I want to be with him. I don't want to lie to him. I told him I never would.
Eden, this is a matter of self-preservation now. You don't have any other alternative. Anyway, the two of you have broken up now. Maybe that's just as well.
I just don't know what to do. I'm so miserable.
Well, then, Eden, why didn't you let me try and make you happy now? I told you I wanted to make you happy for the rest of your life. And I do. I want to take care of you, shield you, protect you, Eden. I want you to marry me. I'm not going to push this, all right? But, darling, I want you to remember it. And I love you.
You like that? You like that?
Oh, hello, Mary. This is the luncheon companion I was expecting.
Oh, I see. Well, what I do is I leave you 2 menus, and you just wave when you're ready to order. Okay?
Thank you, Pearl. Have you been waiting long?
No, not really. Pearl's been entertaining me. Something's bothering you, isn't it? I thought you sounded rather solemn when you called.
I need to talk to you. I hope you don't mind.
Mind? Never. You should know that.
Mother Isabel, I am so confused. I've been wondering if maybe I was a little premature in leaving the order. I mean, I don't think I was ready for the real world. Maybe I should have waited a year or two.
No, I don't think so. People who are going to do things someday seldom get around to them. Tell me what it is you find so confusing in the real world.
Personal relationships. The more personal they are, the more confused I get.
I take it all this has something to do with Mason Capwell.
He told me that he talked to you about me, and I wasn't very happy to hear that.
You don't need to worry about that. You know I wouldn't repeat anything.
Well, of course I know that. It's not that.
And it wasn't a long or particularly intimate talk that Mason and I had, Mary. I saw him when I went to the house early this morning looking for you. Actually, I started the conversation. I told him I thought that you were very different from the girl who left my convent a few months ago.
Really? In what way?
You don't have the inner peace you had then.
No, that's true. I don't. Well, a lot of things have happened since then. I mean, you know about my little sister and my stepbrother.
Oh, yes, and I felt so full of compassion for all of you when I heard.
I was just getting over that, and then Mason has to walk into my life. Maybe I walked into his life.
Do you care for him?
Well, it's hard not to care for him. He is so charming and he's so polished and I guess I was just swept off my feet, but you know, lately I've been feeling like I'm just one in a long string of conquests of his, and all the more interesting because of my lack of experience, and life was so much easier in the convent.
Life is always easier when we can live it on our own terms. When you made the decision to leave, I felt you were making a mistake. But I don't feel that way now.
Why not?
Because you've fallen in love.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I thought I had, but I'm really beginning to have some doubts now.
Well, you had doubts when you came to us at first, too, Mary. Most intelligent people question themselves when they're on the brink of making a serious commitment. Well, better that than walking into things blindly.
Mother Isabel, what would you say if I told you that I was thinking of coming back to you, to the order?
I'd say no.
You would?
I think running away would be a dreadful mistake. I'd rather see you stay here and face it all head on. And I'm talking specifically about your relationship with Mason. Besides, I have a hunch that Mason's in love with you, too. And I think it goes far beyond what you call making a conquest. I think it's genuine. And I think you're very fortunate. And I think we'd better order. I find it very hard to give advice on an empty stomach.
Place Vendôme. Oh, good heavens, Gina's home.
That's right, Mason, I'm back. Did you miss me?
Well, of course.
Well, good, because I missed you terribly. I wish you could have come to Paris with me. It's a very lonely city when you're all by yourself.
Well, you seem to have found some distraction in the shops.
Shopping. Isn't it wonderful? What else is a solitary woman supposed to do?
Certainly made a quick trip of it.
Well, I didn't want to leave you alone for too long. Mason, I think you're going to like some of the things I bought. The French make the loveliest lingerie. I can't wait to model it for you.
Yes, well, actually, I'm glad you're back, Gina. We need to talk.
About what?
About us.
Us? How wonderful. I have some ideas about us, and I have some very unusual suggestions to make. But that's going to have to wait because I have to pick up Brandon now. Do you know how wildly attractive you are to me?
I don't have a clue.
Well, I'll be glad to tell you all about it in great detail when I come back. Better yet, I'll show you. Ooh.
Ooh.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Hope it was palatable.
And from what he said, I have the distinct impression that Mason thinks you've been seeing another man.
What? That's ridiculous. I haven't been going out with anybody.
You're forgetting Mark. You've been spending some time with him, haven't you?
Mark is a friend of mine. He's an old friend.
Not old enough to reassure Mason, I imagine. Perhaps that's the answer. He's gotten it wrong about you two. Is it possible? Do you think that he could have seen you walking around the estate, the two of you together? I'm the one that told him you were going there.
Well, I don't know. I was trying to comfort Mark, and I suppose Mason could have seen it. I bet that's it. I bet it's a complete misunderstanding. Oh, that's wonderful. Mother Isabel, I don't know how to thank you.
Well, I'm glad to see you smiling again, at least.
Excuse me, ladies.
Cruz, hi.
Hi, Mary. Listen, I hate to interrupt, but I need to ask you a couple of questions.
Oh, I was just running along anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mother Isabel, this is Cruz Castillo. This is Mother Isabel. Cruz is with the Santa Barbara Police as well as being a friend of mine.
How do you do?
Hi, fine. Nice to meet you.
I'll call you later, Mary.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
And make sure you straighten that out as soon as you can.
I will.
It's nice to meet you, Mr. Castillo.
Nice to meet you, man. Well, I hope I didn't show up at too bad a time.
No, not at all. What would you like to ask me, Cruz?
Well, Mary, again, I'd like to go over with you the things you told me about the night of the attempt on Cece's life. Now, you said you were down in the study and you heard the alarm and ran upstairs through the atrium. You went straight up the stairs, right?
Right.
And Mason was with you the whole time?
Yeah. Not the whole time.
Well, when wasn't he?
Well, he went down for a minute to the wine cellar to get a bottle of wine.
Oh. Well, how long was he gone, do you recall?
Oh, 5 or 10 minutes. He called me from the atrium on the house phone to say that he was on his way downstairs and was going to be back in a minute.
Are you sure he called from the atrium?
Well, I mean, I can't be absolutely sure, I guess. I just assumed that's... No, come to think of it, I don't think he mentioned where he was calling from.
Okay, so he went to get wine for you.
Well, no, not for me. I wasn't drinking. I was working.
And then what happened?
Well, then after he got back, I heard the alarm, and I don't know how long it had been going on. It was very faint.
And your beeper didn't go off at all?
No, which I thought was strange at the time, but later I found out that it was not working.
Yeah, it is odd for it to malfunction on that particular evening, I think, you know? I wonder if it was merely coincidental or if someone actually planned it that way.
Cruz, that's a very frightening thought.
Yes, it is. Anyway, go on.
Well, that's it. I mean, then I went upstairs to Cece's room, and that's when I saw it. Or thought
Yeah.
that I saw.
Yeah, I know. You thought you saw Eden going out the window. But before that, when you were still downstairs, Mason wasn't with you the whole time. And so there were, 5-10 minutes when you had no definite knowledge of his whereabouts.
Yeah, I guess it was about that long. Cruz, I don't like what you're getting at.
I'm just trying to get at the truth, Mary. It's as simple as that.
I just want to get you out of the house for a little while, that's all. Thought I'd take you out to lunch, and I have something I want to give you, a little surprise.
I love surprises. What is it?
I bet I can guess.
Oh, you're just everywhere, aren't you?
Aren't you going to let me spoil Kirk's surprise?
Well, what do you think it is?
I'll bet Kirk was about to confess that Capwell Enterprises missed out on bidding for the Schofield tract of land that we wanted. Does that surprise you?
Is that true?
Wait a minute, I don't know what he's talking about. That property wasn't supposed to come up for bid till next week.
Well, you've been asleep at the switch, both of you. The bid date was moved up.
Well, if you knew this, why didn't you tell us?
I assumed you were keeping an eye on things. Besides, it's not my job to keep you posted. That's Kirk's job, and if he's not doing it, what good is he?
Kirk.
I didn't know anything about the bid date being moved up. I mean, I don't understand why we weren't notified. I mean, we sure as hell were on that first bid.
Yes, well, it's a little too late to do anything about it now. Just another missed opportunity, Eden. Seem to be slipping through our fingers like grains of gold, don't
Listen,
they?
you know what Kirk and I have had to contend with lately. We can't be in more than one place at one time.
You're defending him. If I were in your place, I'd have fired him on the spot. But you have a soft heart, Eden. Unfortunately, that's not the best equipment for the head of a major corporation.
This may not still be too late. I'm going to make a couple of calls.
That's a good idea. Pull some strings, but try not to get all tangled up in them.
Eden, do you want some help?
No, I can handle it.
I'm sure that's much the safest way.
Why don't you give up, Mason? You are not going to get me fired, and you are not going to get the company away from Eden.
You think not? Well, I feel very sanguine about both prospects, Kirk. I mean, Eden's been behaving erratically. She's certainly been inefficient. She strikes me as being in a highly emotional, unstable frame of mind. I think that Capwell Enterprises needs a steadier hand at the helm, a man's hand. But you've shown yourself to be more of a bodyguard to Eden than a strong company executive. Maybe you ought to be on her personal payroll instead of the corporate accounts.
Well, that decision is up to Eden, not you.
For now. But I'm sure that when the others find out about this latest blunder, they'll come running to me, beg me to take over the company and save it for them. If they do that, I suppose I'll have to give in.
It won't happen. Ted and Kelly are not going to hold this one incident over Eden's head. Everyone makes mistakes, even you.
Well, that's true, but Eden's way of handling mistakes seems to be to move on to different ones. She's been demonstrating that peculiar ability for quite some time now. Now, I'd be careful if I were you, Kirk. I think you've hitched your wagon to a falling star. Capwell Enterprises is about to have a new head, and you and Eden are likely to be standing on the sidelines watching your own heads roll by.
Stuck. The rain must have made the wood swell.
You're handy with tools. Why don't you fix it?
You're very good at sneaking up on people, Mason.
I know. Disconcerting, isn't it?
Did you want something?
I always want something, Cruz.
What do you want this time?
Actually, I was just walking by and saw you. Wondered if you'd come up with anything new as far as who tried to murder my father.
Well, as a matter of fact, I just added a new suspect to my list.
Really, who?
You.
Oh, come now. Cruz, me a suspect? I understand your zeal trying to protect Eden, but I don't think you should make a mockery of the law by doing it.
Mason, I've said it before, you had a very strong motive. It's a known fact that your father executed a new will shortly before his stroke in which he disinherited you.
Even if he did, no one can find the will.
No, but if he recovers, the rest of your family expect him to sign another one just like it. And you won't get a cent.
My father's famous for his indecision where I'm concerned, Cruz. I'm sure if he recovers, he'll do nothing of the kind.
Well, I'm sure you hope not, anyway. The point is, at the time of the attempt, you stood to gain a great deal from his death. So, there's your motive. And as for opportunity, it turns out that you weren't with Mary all evening, were you?
Oh, wasn't I?
Not according to her. You made a little trip down to the wine cellar that you neglected to tell me about.
Well, so I did, didn't I? I just didn't realize you were so interested in wine.
Well, you realized that I was interested in your whereabouts. Did anyone happen to see you down there during this alleged visit?
No, but I did return with an unalleged bottle of wine. Did Mary tell you that? No, apparently not. You know, Cruz, personally, I think that what you got is pretty flimsy. When you get something a little more solid, give me a call. But not before 9 in the morning. And you know, I also think it's a shame that your love for Eden is letting you try to turn innocent people into suspects. You used to be a man of great integrity, Cruz. I wonder whatever became of that.
Lost out, that's all, and they aren't going to reopen the bidding for us, so we just blew it.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand why they didn't notify us about the change in the date.
By registered mail. It's probably sitting on someone's desk right now. I just hope it isn't yours.
Okay, well, I'll check into it first thing. I don't know what to say, Eden. I'm sorry. I will take full responsibility for it.
That isn't going to get us the property, is it? If you ask me, Mason probably signed for it and kept it from us.
Signed for what, Eden?
The letter saying that the bid date had been moved up.
Oh, so you were notified.
Yeah, according to their offices, we were. But I bet you sabotaged the whole deal. God only knows you're capable.
Well, I admit the allegation, but I deny the alligator. Now, Eden, I'm afraid this body is lying right on your front doorstep. You know, I'm sure if Dad were around that he'd insist you step down until you learned how to run the business properly. And we all know that you were brought into this business world scarce half made up, but still, these things are costing us a lot of money.
Leave her out of this, Mason. If there's anyone to blame, it's me.
Oh, I'm sure that you're equally culpable, Kirk, and I'm sure that Dad would get rid of you, too.
Eden, honestly, I don't understand how this thing came about. I mean, maybe it's sitting there on my desk. I can't say. I wouldn't blame you if you did fire me.
Look, nothing like that is going to happen. We're not going to crucify you for making a mistake. I mean, especially with everything that's been going on right now.
So you're disposed to be lenient, are you?
Look, I'm the one in charge here. I am the one that should be responsible.
I couldn't agree with you more. Why don't you put that in writing, Kirk?
Like hell she will.
Ooh, what have we here, St. George or the Dragon?
Look, why don't you two just stop this, okay? Mason, I know that what you want to do is cause dissension, but you're not going to get it. A mistake has been made. We lost the property. It's not the end of the world.
Maybe the end of yours, Eden, if I have my way.
Now step out of this,
Kirk,
Mason.
Please don't, okay? He just wants you to sink to his level, and we're not going to do it, so let's just go, all right?
You're not going to win this one, Mason. I'm going to take this up with you personally.
Will you? You better move fast.
Oops, excuse me. What's going on here? Were you two fighting?
Are you really fighting?
No, Brandon. We were just yelling at each other. Grown-ups like to do that.
Mason, what happened?
So, Eden made another corporate mistake, and Kirk's sticking up for her. Thinks he knows what side his bread is buttered on, but I think he's going to find he dropped it upside down.
Want to come out and play?
Though I'd like to, Brandon, but I have some work to do. Maybe later on, okay?
Come on, sweetheart. Mommy will make you some lunch, and then you can play later on, all right? Okay. I'll talk to you later, Mason.
Great.
Mason, don't let them upset you. It's not worth it. I'm on your side. So am I.
Well, thank you, Brandon. That's reassuring.
Dear Eden, Kelly, and Ted, this is perhaps the hardest letter I've ever had to write, because it's really an admission of defeat, as well as a letter of goodbye. I've decided to go back to Rome. It's clear to me now that all of you want me out of your lives, and I feel that I will never be able to win you over, no matter how hard I try. I came back to Santa Barbara hoping to bring the family together, but I'm afraid all I've really managed to do is tear it apart. I love you, each and all of you, so much. It breaks my heart to leave, but I feel so isolated and alone now, so powerless to reach any of you.
Brandon is outside playing, so I brought you this. Maybe it'll make you feel better.
Mozart was doing that when you came in.
Oh, that's Mozart? He's pretty good, isn't he?
I'm sure he'll be pleased you think so.
You really are down in the dumps, aren't you? I know it will make you feel 100% better. You stay here, I'll be right back.
Mason.
Mary? Well, I'm overwhelmed. What have I done to deserve this?
Mason, I am so ashamed. This has been a stupid misunderstanding. Listen to me. Mark McCormick and I are friends. We're old friends. There is nothing romantic going on between us. That's all there is to it.
Really? I can't tell you how relieved I am. Well, I was so jealous. I saw you in the gazebo.
I knew that's what happened.
Oh, I feel like a fool for jumping to conclusions now. It's just that I've grown to care so much for you. You're all I care about anymore.
Mason, I would never deliberately do anything to make you jealous. I hate games like that.
I do too. It doesn't matter. We've forgiven each other. I can't tell you how you brighten my day.
You're brightening my day, too.
Well, what do you say we try to brighten the next night that you're not working?
Oh, great. How?
No, I don't know. Dinner, followed by a long, romantic evening.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
Mm-hmm. And we'll make a pact. No more disagreements.
Yeah, I think I can agree to that. Mason, I have to go upstairs to your father.
I know that. I know that. But thank you for making me happy.
Oh, I'm going to do that a lot.
Gina, joy of man's desiring.
I knew this would cheer you up. It's a Paris original. I thought of you when I bought it.
Well, I'm flattered, Gina. I really am. But we really do have to have a serious talk.
Oh, I know. I want to talk to you, but first I have something I want to give you.
Oh, no, Gina, really.
Please, Mason, I bought it just especially for you. Now, I don't know how to pronounce it in French, but in English it means a medal of love. You see, it has two little horns on it. And on the back, when you translate it, it says, I love you more than yesterday, but much less than tomorrow. And truer words were never written on the back of anything.
Well, that's really very sweet of you, Gina, but can I please say what I have to say?
Oh, of course, Mason, I'm sorry.
Well, we've had a rather odd relationship, Gina. I mean, well, necessity sort of brought us together, and mutual blackmail sort of held us there. Been fun and foolish, and I've grown genuinely fond of you. I want you to know that. But the trouble is, that's as much as it can ever be.
What are you saying?
That If I've led you to believe that this could develop into something more serious, I'm sorry, I never meant to. The truth is that I found the woman I love, and I know now that she loves me.
Mary?
That's right, it's Mary. So you see why I can't accept this. But I thank you for it. Sincerely.
Yes, Gradish, gentlemen,
Nick, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Oh, yeah, in a word, better.
Glad to hear it.
Thanks.
So, Dylan, you gotten into any more trouble since I saw you last?
No, not me.
That phase of Dylan's life is over now, Cruz. From now on, he's going to be the model brother.
True. All too true.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's two pieces of good news. See you guys later.
If those people were suspects, I don't understand. How come I overheard Eden say that she did it?
I don't know, and I'm sure there's an explanation.
Yeah, or an excuse.
Hey, look, don't you have something to do?
I think you ought to give up, pal. The best thing you can do right now is get ready for the day the DA calls you in to make testimony against Eden. Because it's gonna happen. Sure as you're sitting there.
Why are we stopping here?
I have something I want to give you. And you can keep it with you as kind of a symbol, I guess. Something to remind you of the faith I have in you.
You don't have to give me anything to prove that. You've done more than enough.
No, I want you to have something tangible. Come on.
No.
You can just hang on to it. If you decide to put it on and I see that you're wearing it, I'll know that you've accepted me.